So okay, we have a little conversation here with Fernando Perez.
That's it.
Fernando Perez. I'm getting pretty good at this, aren't I? We talked earlier about labor here. Minimum wage. The minimum wage here is at what at this time?
It's really hard to say in dollars because the dollar it's got inflation and right now it's going like way too high, way too low, so it's hard to say in American dollars. But we can say that the minimum wage goes down to $400, about $370 to $400 a month.
Okay.
And this will be just minimum wage.
$400 a month, so $100 a week would compute down to about $2 an hour.
It'll be 48 hours a week. Remember, that's our regular shift.
Correct.
So $100, yeah, about right. $2 an hour.
Yeah, a 48-hour shift, a 48-hour week with Monday through Friday makes it a 9.5-hour day.
Depends on where you work. Most places, what they do, they work, depends, something like 8 hours and a half equals, they can also work 6 days a week.
Okay.
For a total of 48 hours. Or they can work like 7 hours a week, and then Fridays they will work less than that, instead of 9 hours a day. No, actually what it is they can work 9 hours a week, 4 days of the week. Fridays 8 hours, and then they work half day on Saturdays.
I understand. Okay, I got it straight.
So remember, when you do numbers about that, when you talk about labor, we also have something that is called aguinaldo. Aguinaldo, it's a 13-month salary. This is tax-free. The way that works is whatever money you make from December 1st to November 30th, you add all that money, including overtime. If you make any overtime, you divide that in 12. And whatever that number comes, it's the check tax-free that you're gonna get on the first 2 weeks of December. Called aguinaldo, but basically what it is Christmas money. That in addition to your regular salary.
Excellent
That's
system.
one of the benefits.
Yeah.
The Nicaraguan subject is a hard subject. When you talk about Nicaraguans, sometimes you have to be very careful when you say about Nicaraguans because they help our economy. For sure.
Yes.
Otherwise, no one will harvest the sugar cane or the coffee or construction works that we don't do because we have better job opportunities through education. Don't forget that we don't have army since 1948. So lots of money has been put into education.
Yes.
Our neighbors didn't have that opportunity.
Okay. Okay. So, and like you say, in the education system, it's first grade through 11th grade.
That's correct.
And you also have public universities that are free.
They're not 100% free. They're the government universities, but what you pay for it, basically what it is for paperwork.
Okay.
I don't know the exact amount, but one thing that you have to know, they go by semesters. The private universities goes every 4 months, quarters. And not that the quality is better, but you graduate faster with the same subjects.
All right. To work in the tourism industry, would you say that the tourism industry is the largest industry?
Well, that's what I just realized because it's been out there with Intel, with technology as a source of income. But the country has been developed tourism for so many years right now, and we're kind of well known in the world. So tourism is a huge industry right now.
Okay, and in order to work in the tourism industry, you almost have to know some English. You have to be pretty good in English.
You better be.
You better
good
be
in English. Now, one of the things is not only about English. The country has been developing new strategies in tourism and all that. And the one thing, I've been doing this for 9 years, tourism. Before that, it was so many people doing it, of course. But it was doing that on a different way, with no license. It was more like, oh, I love nature, so I'm going to nature. Oh, I love this, so I'm just going to take people in my bus, without any regulations. So we're getting the country into regulations. So now there's a private university that is called Universidad del Turismo, which is a tourism university, that they will be focused more and prepare people not only on the knowledge of the forest, but also knowledge of history, knowledge of geography, knowledge of basically everything.
Yeah.
Tourism is a business where you need to know about a little bit of everything, for sure.
I noticed that people like really respect the tourism industry, and that you know, like a bus that's got Turismo written on the side of it is kind of given some preferential treatment. Is that a safe assessment on my part? Is that pretty accurate?
Well, tourism should be safer, I will say, in this country. But it's because sometimes it just kind of goes out of control. People in this country, and that's what everybody says, and most people says the Costa Ricans are very friendly. So when you come to countries like this, people is very friendly.
Yeah.
For a fact. But people feel like at home, and sometimes they just don't follow some of the rules, and eventually they get robbed.
Yeah.
Those are the things that we work right now, so we stop that from happening.
How have things changed? Let me ask you that. How have things changed in the last 20 years since these companies like Levi's and Baxter have come into the country?
Okay, I'm gonna go back to your question about salaries.
Okay.
And also getting into Nicaraguans. Once again, I want to make that clear. I like them, and this is a good asset for the country.
Yeah.
Since we have some education, we can apply for better jobs.
Okay.
Unfortunately, jobs as agriculture workers, none of them will get any benefits. Very few, because of some responsible farmers, will have insurance. But remember, these are seasonal crops, so it's not that they can afford just to pay a whole year of insurance if you're going to work only for 3-4 months. When companies like Levi's or any call centers came down to this country, it was a lot of help for our economy. Better salaries, and the most important is benefits. Remember, we get the dog 9% out of our paycheck, and with that, health is covered. Not only for me, I'm a single person, but if I'm married, it will be covered for me, for my wife if she doesn't work, as well for my kids, whether if I have 1 kid or 20 kids. If you work at a farm, you won't get any benefits. If you work at Levi's, Hewlett-Packard, Conair, you name it that is here, we will get all these benefits. Benefits also that you can apply to get a loan. Benefits also that eventually you can get your own house. Benefits that you can dream on. Basically, that's what it is.
I've heard a lot from you and all of the speakers that we've heard here all week that we've been here about CAFTA. CAFTA is huge right now. Y'all just recently had an election regarding CAFTA, and can you tell me a little bit about that? I understand it's not completely settled at this point.
Once again, remember, this is a point of view.
Sure.
I was on favor of CAFTA, and I was the whole time. No one needs to convince me that I should vote yes. The referendum, as one of the speakers says, we did it on a very Costa Rican way. Once the U.S. signed the contract, Nicaragua and Salvador was one of the first ones. It was a lot of benefits for them. If you ask me if we really need CAFTA, I will say we have such a good relation with the U.S. that we don't really need CAFTA. But if this is where the globalization is going, we have to go with. We have very monopolies in here. Insurance monopoly, telecommunications monopoly. Banking is not a monopoly anymore. So that's why you see so many forest investors or foreign banks in here. The telephone company doesn't really work as well as it should work, because it's only one company, whether you like it or not. They have good service, good for you. They don't have services, too bad. And that's what CAFTA is going to bring. CAFTA is going to bring lots of opportunities.